Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of RevOps Demos That Don't Suck. My name is Matthew Volm, CEO and co-founder of RevOps Co-op, a global community of almost 12,000 folks from all across the globe who are passionate about revenue operations. And today I am with Noam Liran, who is the CEO and co-founder over at Sightfull. And Sightfull at a glance is essentially a fully automated revenue analysis analytics platform. But before we dive into that and before I start peppering Noam with questions, I'll say, Noam, anything you want to add to that personal or professional introduction of yourself? And then anything you want to add to just a quick kind of highlight of what Sightfull is?
I'm guessing like my one-liner is I'm the guy who takes cybersecurity technologies and applies them to sales and marketing analytics. And you wouldn't believe like how much stuff you can find if you put the right tools to the job.
That's awesome. I love it. All right. And before we get into, I guess, the interesting, call it correlation of cybersecurity to then sales and marketing, because I don't think a lot of people would naturally take that leap. Let's first talk about the problem space a little bit and unique position here because we don't always get to talk to founders or co-founders of the company. So talk a little bit about, one, what does the world look like for RevOps practitioners today? What problems are they experiencing on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis that you all are kind of on a mission to solve for? And then also, I'd love to hear just origin story of what made you decide to kind of start a company and start to attack this particular problem.
So I think for me, RevOps are kind of today's heroes in the organizations. And like many heroes, they're kind of between a rock and a hard place. Like on one side, people expect them to put processes that help the company accelerate its growth. And on the other hand, people expect them to provide visibility into what's working, what's not. Executives are here, the working, again, SDRs, AEs, all of those who engage with customers are here. And RevOps has to kind of push both sides, generate visibility, help with processes. And it's a hard job. And for me, I feel like it's not only a data problem, it's also a platform problem, because in many cases you have multiple data sources. You find yourself either exporting data to Excel or having some kind of BI project. And in both cases, these methods just don't keep up, right? You have multiple departments, multiple business questions that could change every week, and those two approaches just don't scale. So for me, helping revenue operations people be that source of clarity for the organization is a personal mission and one that I'm passionate about. And again, having the right technology to help you with that, to kind of get you above the small, tiny details that you need to implement something and into the strategic questions, that's kind of the generation of RevOps people that I want to help.
Yeah. And I know I've been there before in terms of, like you said, spreadsheets, dashboards, BI tools, certain things needing engineering help, other things being able to do myself, having one metric over here that should tie to this metric over here, but then it doesn't. And yeah, those things can get very, very confusing. And so if that's the kind of the problem space, or I guess the world that revenue operators are living in today, then let's talk a little bit about the solution and how you all are approaching solving for that particular problem. And whether you want to pull up, maybe the product or any sort of kind of screens, visuals that you have to start walking us through that. You give us a lowdown on the solution and how you all are solving for that.
Yeah. So Sightfull is a revenue analytics platform, but it's unlike other platforms in the space. Many of the other solutions you might have, they try to solve one use case, and in many cases they do it well, but you can't really have so many tools for so many different needs. And the idea behind this is that we help our customers with predefined templates based on popular business questions that other companies have asked, and we let them pick which templates they actually want to go and add into their Sightfull instance. And for every one of those templates, you can very quickly onboard, because for every one of them, we've built machine learning mapping, which helps you map your data to this model, to this business question. Some of them aggregate data from multiple data sources, but the gist is you have a lot of leverage. You can get questions for complicated metrics, for complicated business questions, get answered for them without having to invest all that time in correlating the data, pooling it, starting a BI project, all of that. So we have prepackaged templates. They are affordable. You only pay for what you need, and you can start on your own. So it's a very lucrative offering for the revenue operations people, which kind of every other week get asked different business questions.
Hmm.
Uh, mhm.
Yeah, so it looks like you got a lot of different things you can select from on the template side. So I guess this is kind of
Yep.
the, I guess the starting point, if you will. If I'm in RevOps and say there's some insights that I'm looking to generate, maybe I don't have those reports or those dashboards or things ready yet. This would be kind of the first place to go to see what you all have available and how I can essentially just kind of click a few buttons to get
Yep.
started with that versus spending hours, days, weeks, kind of building it on my own.
Exactly. You go into the template, you add it to your Sightful, you get a very easy mapping experience, and you can choose to share those metrics with other business leaders or executives in your company. You can choose to actually create a curated version and give them that. But you're at the driver's seat, um, and I'm happy to jump in and show you again what that experience looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to see that. I'd love to know like, yeah, some of the most popular kind of use cases on the RevOps side or even where people are typically getting started and then how they kind of progress from there.
Yep. So this is again, I have many of the templates already onboarded here, but you've previously asked me like what are the popular use cases, and two of the ones that I'm like personally really excited about, and also we get asked about a lot, is actually about ABM. Like many of the companies around us are trying to analyze how the ABM account-based marketing efforts are going. So our ABM template gives you actually the ability to correlate data from multiple data sources and deep dive into how fast they're going, where is every company in the ABM funnel. Try to find correlations between what segment is going better than others, what reps are doing better than others with this strategy. And this is also a great, I guess, like a great segue to like one of Sightful's main experience is what we call the investigation page. So many of the business questions we ask today, they map to investigations that we want to run. We're usually not really interested in how much pipeline we've created. We're usually interested in who's created more, what segments have enjoyed more pipeline, and what does that trend look over time. We've already asked 3 business questions, and I didn't even think about territories and other parameters that you might have. So Sightful makes asking all of those different questions very easy. And not only that, it also gives you the ability to look at them across different time periods, break them down according to different segments in your business, uh, and last but not least, actually have an AI analyst join you and help you answer these business questions. So if you have a theory about something in your business, you can very easily ask Sightful's AI to generate insights on top of this view. Maybe you want some talking points for your board deck. Maybe you want to actually get it to help you shape a point for the QBR. You can actually have someone else standing right beside you and help you kind of address some of those questions. Um,
Yeah.
Now, needless to say, in many cases, just having the numbers doesn't help. So Sightfull also helps you drill down into the underlying data behind those numbers. And you can, we pride ourselves in having infinite drill down, so you can keep clicking. Anytime you want to learn new things, you can click on periods, metrics, accounts, drill down into connected objects, and you will have the answer you're looking for.
Yeah, I know I mean I've been there before, especially on the doing anything account based has always been a big challenge because right, you might have you typically always have, typically multiple contacts per account, and it's one thing to look at how, like contacts or people are progressing through certain life cycle stages or like opportunity stages, but it's another thing to see, well, how are the, the accounts that are associated with those contacts
And
progressing.
where are they, like in our phone?
Yeah.
And it's crazy like how complicated this gets, because you were talking about contacts, right? If you use Salesforce, you also have the contacts versus leads conundrum. If your marketing team uses HubSpot, they're gonna be kind of have their own source of truth for things. So being able to tie HubSpot and Salesforce and get this kind of again, one pane of glass where you can kind of get both teams to talk the same language, that's a game changer.
Yeah. And so these dashboards are obviously looking within the Sightful app right now. Are you able to embed or publish these into other places? Like, can they show up directly in Salesforce or, in other, are they embeddable in other like tools or
Yeah,
applications?
that's a great question. So you can take any metric you have in Sightful, and I'll show us a few others in a second, but you can both create a dashboard, because sometimes that's what we need, create a dashboard. But you can also uh, do a live export of that data, either into a Google Sheets formula, which is pretty cool. You're going to have a formula that updates once an hour with the live data uh, that you have, or you can actually get an Excel web query, which would be the equivalent of the live connection, but with a refresh button. You can click once you want to refresh the data. So this is one of the ways we actually find ourselves in weekly meetings, in QBRs, in board meetings, where companies might have, again, metrics they want to externalize, but want to do it embedded in their existing tools. Um, Another two ways we integrate, we send data to an existing BI tool if you have one, or a data warehouse. And we are working on a Salesforce integration. So you can actually embed Sightful within Salesforce. If, as many people want, you don't want your users to actually kind of have to change apps to consume their analytics. This is, by the way, something I'm very passionate about, this whole mantra that we want to meet our users where they are. Um, so we're trying to make that as easy as possible, because if we don't do that, that's where the multiple sources of truth, that's where the divergence happens.
Yeah. Yep. Yep, for sure. And so I know
Mhm.
uh so we talked or you showed some of the integrations on the exporting side. And obviously I saw kind of the Salesforce cloud and HubSpot icon. What are the primary data sources or the integrations that you have on the data source side? I assume CRMs like Salesforce and HubSpot since I've seen that, but anything else on that list?
So you can kind of ask these questions in two ways. You can use, we have over 150 connectors that you can connect to Sightful. Um, and we're working on kind of an ever-growing set of templates that you can onboard data to. Almost all of the templates are available for Salesforce and HubSpot. Some are available for Dynamics. Um, and we're working on kind of adding any others to that list. But the gist is, if you have uh, a data somewhere that you want to provide access to different executives to. You want to have an advanced drill down experience. You want to have an AI analyst that helps you drill down into these things and find trends that you might not be able to see. You can do that for your data source very easily. So there's really no limitation on that front. And the gist is like many of the questions you asked today have been asked by other people around you. Let's reuse that data. Like sales and marketing, we don't have to reinvent analytics in every new company we go. So this is kind of what Sightfull is about. And we make any analysis that you need that's based on snapshots, on history, a breeze to do.
Yeah.
Um, mhm.
What
There's
are, what are some of the other, so you showed some of the ABM or the account-based stuff. What are the other kind of popular metrics or maybe the ones that you're most excited about too, or that people in RevOps are most excited about?
So we've seen customers get a lot of success from metrics they previously thought were really hard to kind of understand and kind of drive insights from. And those would be kind of the ones that talk about progression rates and duration in stages. Um, those are things that you could usually get away by doing them in Excel once in a while. But if you do that, you don't really get to check all the different kind of thesis and dimensions that your business might
Mhm.
have. Like if we're talking about, again, duration in stage, um, and obviously lead duration is also an interesting one, but let's go for the duration in stage. You can actually, yep, this one. You can actually start to see different trends in your business. Are we doing POCs faster? Are we making progress in kind of some of the business goals that we've set? How does the sales cycle look between different regions? Um, like those are again interesting questions. You can make strategy changes based on them. And again, if you feel baffled by this data, if you have a dimension that you want to check, the easiest thing to do would be to kind of ask the AI to analyze the trends for you and find you the talking points for the next meeting, things you should do. Um, and yeah, I've heard of companies that don't realize that one region is actually pulling the other one, the statistics of the other one up.
Mhm.
I've worked with companies which didn't realize that even though a lower selling product of theirs was, again, the ASP was lower, the sales cycle was much higher. So
Yeah.
those are the kind of things we want to help companies find in a second, not in a week. Um,
Yeah, that's
mhm.
great. Yeah, those are the things
Yep.
that kind of get hidden, right, in the data that everyone's kind of sitting on top of. It's just really hard to unearth and kind of raise that to
Yeah.
the.
And like a CRO that I've talked with last week, like he told me a sentence that's probably gonna stick with me for a while. He told me that he's tired of hearing, let me get back to you about that. Like you can't run a business in 2024 with all the I'll have to get back to you
Yeah.
type answers.
Yeah. Yeah, the faster you're able to pull insights out of this and tie those to actions that need to be taken, the sooner you can execute, right? And that means the more you execute, the more at bats you get, the more chances you give yourself. The the more you typically will plan or need to do analysis, it's the more that you're not executing, right? And those are things that just delay revenue growth, and like you said, those things can't
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
It,
And I feel like, in today's kind of atmosphere, many companies kind of look up to the RevOps to help them tell, if we had $1 more, where should we put it? If we need to take away $1 more, where do we need to take it from? And those questions today are very important to answer.
yep, yep. And so you've got a kind of robust metrics library in here. It looks like you can integrate with Salesforce and HubSpot. You can, kind of add the different metrics modules for the things that you need kind of as you go. When it comes to like for RevOps folks, I guess that are looking at this, well, one, I guess I'm curious, who's typically like a good fit for your product or tool or solution? Is it, and then, any examples of maybe current customers that you can share as well?
Yeah, we have quite a lot of high visibility customers. Wiz, like it's the fastest growing startup ever, is one of our customers. We've been with them for a few years now. We have Armis, Flowson, quite a few good logos. We also have two public companies we're working with that unfortunately I can't yet share their name. In that sense, like the moment you have more than a few sales people is the moment you start accumulating data and you start accumulating leads and deals. And once you have that, you can start driving insights from it. And some companies might think the data is too messy, we can't really use it. It's kind of a chicken and egg problem. Some of your data is good, you can derive insights from it. The one that isn't, you're gonna know that. You're gonna see that in the metrics. So create that visibility, start a trial. It's easy. Choose the kind of the use case that's top of mind for you, the template that's top of mind. And that's kind of our take on it. And we work from companies again as low as a few hundreds of Ks of ARR up to almost 500 million ARR, which is great.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's very interesting because you get to see companies transition through stages. You get to see the kind of let's make the sales team a reproducible effort. Let's make the renewals a reproducible effort. And with the larger companies, it's going to be about how do we kind of diversify into multiple products and do cross-selling very efficiently. So for every one of those stages, we actually have templates that are ready to go. And I'm glad to say we've kind of walked with a few of our customers through these different stages. So that's really inspiring.
Yeah. And yeah, you mentioned, I guess, a little bit on the like the data quality side, because I know that's something that people always think about, and I think a natural like a natural, I call it hesitation or tendency of anyone is to be like, oh, well, like, my data's a mess and I got to fix things on the data quality side before I can even, think about analytics. And you mentioned, like one, you got to start somewhere. And I think the other thing that I think of with things like, it's like everyone's data is always a mess, and
Yeah.
like no one, including yourself, is ever going to have perfect data, but is it kind of directionally good enough, right? And like you said, I think some of the things that a tool like Sightfull can unearth is also like it can tell you where your data is a mess, and then kind of where to go fix it. But what are some things that you typically respond with when people kind of bring up that whole objection or issue of data quality?
It's a very interesting subject, and I really empathize with the way you position it, right? It's never going to be perfect. And for some companies, the first stage is not going to be you like it's about having a compass of what direction you want to go to more than having a map. But you need something. You can't work in vacuum. It doesn't work anymore working on gut feelings. And I think companies would be surprised at the amount of data that Salesforce and HubSpot keep today that isn't available for the average admin, the average user, but can be leveraged for analytics. So it's not a one size fits all. I don't want to tell anybody that they're going to have 40 different templates that are going to work on day one. If someone tells you that, run the other direction, right? But you definitely have 5, 6, 7 that are going to work no matter how messy you think your data is. And the question is it 7 or is it 15? that's something that's easy to check. So I urge people to kind of just take the leap, see the results. You can always decide it's too early. But standing on the fence and saying that, again, my data is not there, it's never going to be there if you don't start putting these processes in place.
Yeah. And when it so when it comes to folks who might be, looking at this or watching this now and want to, give it a try, is there, so obviously I know we talked about how people can go kind of metrics library and start with a template that, is something that they want to see for themselves. How can people typically get started? Is there a free trial? Is there a free version of the product? How can someone kind of get rolling with Sightfull today if they wanted to get started?
So one, we do free 14-day trials. Just choose which templates you want to start with. You can start a trial. You can have, again, your templates onboarded in as little as an hour and take it out for a spin. We have very easy pricing in that sense. If you're really interested in one or two templates, you can just start with those. You don't have to overpay. You can also, as you grow, kind of add the different templates that you think your company needs. So in that sense, again, our lowest tier is $139 a month. And again, we want to help companies lead this data analysis revolution. We want to help revenue operations be the heroes of that.
Yeah.
So in that sense, like you companies that use us look at us as partners.
And so 14-day free trial can get started right on the website. I it sounds like the kind of the implementation or call it the configuration of all this stuff is essentially self-serve. Nobody needs to get any sort of onboarding support from your team. And then you mentioned a little bit on the pricing or the starting point for the pricing. So how do you all charge? Is it based on like the number of templates that people
Yep.
use, or is it something else?
Yep. I can actually show that. So it's based on the number of templates. Most companies want to start small. They want to see that their team actually uses the platform, that they can put it to use. They usually pick one, two, or three templates to start with. They get a lot of features out of the box, including the integration that I've previously shown. When companies kind of grow and need more templates, they can just use the growth plan, have more historical data. Maybe you want to add some finance users. Um, that's kind of the trajectory. And at the end of the day, if you do end up needing single sign-on or some of the auditing features, they are also very easy to add later on.
Yeah. And so it sounds like one, easy to get started and easy to try, easy to get kind of set up, and then pricing is very reasonable and affordable, especially for folks in RevOps. If you're looking at, hey, like you know, just picture if you tried to, well, like you said, one, if you try to build some of this stuff yourself within your current tooling, the time that it'll take you to do that, but then two, the amount of data that is kind of sitting back there that may not be readily available or accessible to you as an end user, but is through a product like Sightfull. There's a lot of value to be had in there for 140 bucks a month, 370 bucks a month. So makes a lot of sense. And then I guess one of the last things I always like to ask Noam is, I'm sure you got a long list of things that uh kind of differentiate Sightfull from your competitors or just other manual ways of doing some of this stuff in the market. But if you had to pick just one thing that kind of sets you all apart from any alternative solution, whether it's a product or a manual way of doing this, what's the one thing that you would say puts Sightfull at the top?
I would say it would be the templates, the fact that you have a way to quickly get answers to the most pressing business question that you have without putting on the hat of a data analyst and being kind of doing an archaeological dig through what are the fields it's usually kept at and those kind of things. Like you could get answers as quickly as 1 hour from now. And I typically say to again to my prospects, like if you spend more than 1 or 2 hours a week on reporting, like your time is valuable. There's no reason that you will need to spend 1 or 2 hours, let alone 5 or 8, preparing for the weekly reviews, the QBRs, expected to find what doesn't work. You should definitely get like something like this.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you said, let's say you're even spending you know, 2 hours a week on call like, reporting and analytics stuff like this, right? Over the course of 52 weeks in a year, I mean, that's a
Yeah,
hundred, that's 100 hours, right?
yeah.
Um, if let's say you're even making 75, like $75 an hour, just your time. I mean, that's worth 7,500 bucks, right there, just on the time alone, and then add on all the additional speed that you'll get to generating the insights.
And also get around from again spending time on the basic questions and reports you're being asked for to actually be the ones who's bringing the insights to the table.
And the recommendations. Yeah, exactly. Not like, oh, here's that report you asked for, but like, oh, here's here's all the things that we should care about based on, that thing you were asking about earlier.
Yeah, yeah. People ask me like, what's sometimes a way to get ahead in the world of revenue operations. In many cases, I strike it to initiative, thinking outside the box, and bringing value to others. And you need to have something to bring to the table. Like this is something you can bring to the table.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, product looks awesome, my friend, and I can see the value for anyone out there in RevOps, and I especially love how a lot of the kind of the complicated nature of an analytics solution, how you all have made that at least appear to be really, really simple, even though I know firsthand how complex and complicated that can be behind the scenes. But just the sheer fact that you can go get started for free, pick the things that you want to get started with, and kind of be off to the races is huge. So would love to see anyone watching this to definitely go out and give you all a try. But with that, I will stop kind of peppering you with questions, but I appreciate you sharing the product, the solution, and the way that you're helping folks in RevOps today. So thank you, Noam. Thank you to everyone who tuned in and kind of gave this a listen or a watch. But with that, I'll let you all run. So take care, everybody, and I'll see you on the flip side.